If you ask a parent, they might call it intuitive. If you ask a musician, they might call it inspiring. To a doctor, it's groundbreaking. To a CEO, it's powerful. To a teacher, it's the future. If you ask a child, she might call it magic. And if you asked us, we'd say it's just getting started.
Globalization. And why are information systems more important in today? Okay. Now to start off, I would like to look at an example. Globally, there are many firms that are actually trying to change the way they do business. One of the firms is Nike. I know you know Nike. If you ever wore Adidas, there's also a shoe called Nike. So you can actually put your Adidas aside and think about Nike. Now Nike, some time ago, a few years ago, began a website called NikeID.com. The objective of that website was to allow consumers to build their own shoe and actually order it. So you can actually go to the website and virtually just create your shoe yourself. So they give you the extent of opportunity to customize every single detail about the shoe. The sole, the color of the sole, the type of leather you want, the color of the lace, the color, you can even write your name on the shoe. Now, some people don't believe whether this is true. So let's see whether it is true. So let's see this one. This is custom. Start. You are going to try and start building the shoe. So you can change now. If I change the colors, you start seeing the changes that are happening. Do you see what is happening?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm actually changing the and you can actually change. I change the color of the swoosh. I can click on the heel, change the color of the heel. Click on the ankle, make it low calf height, so a high, a mid-level calf height. So now you see the low one, it has changed the design of the shoe itself. You see, or you don't see the difference?
Yeah.
See a difference, okay. Then, so let's see if we can change the material here. Change the color of the sole, the front part, the outside, the different color. I can rotate the shoe, and then here writes my name. So let's say, and then I can write even on the right. Sometimes you can write different things. So let's say, if it takes it, then choose the color that you want to do it. So then see now the shoe is, if you want to work in town, one shoe called it's a hess. So you can actually do that and change the color of the heel. See, and this is actually signed by, I think, right, one of the master. So you can change the elevation of the angle by actually change the now I can also change the color of the lace. Choose what I want. And this part, I think I don't like the color I choose from here. I can give it a different color. And then do this one, a more brighter color. Now what am I actually doing? I'm actually building my shoe. Now then we can also change, change your take a picture of your shoe. See, that's the color, picture of the shoe. So you can use that one and send and share it with your friends. Now, what it's actually do is that, who should I send it to? The shoe I want to buy. So you can send it to your friends that you want them to buy you this shoe. Then when you finish everything and you want to purchase it, you can actually just click on purchase, add to cart, and to tell you there are some remaining steps that I should have done. I just want to see how much it will cost. Choose them. Okay. Attach fast. Strong. Then we go 8 out of 9 completed. Show me how mine are number 7. Choose the first list color, the second list color. Wow. Then, so now the gender, I want men's, I want the size, 8.5, quantity 1, how to cut. Then it will actually process the shoe and tell you how much the shoe is. Now chances are, if I've created a shoe like this, does Nike have all the shoes in stock? I'm asking you a question. Do you think they have it? No. So then how are they doing this? Have they bought different laces and put in there, different colors of the sole, different colors? And finally, now some of these ones can deliver to you as within like 3 days. $185. To have your own shoe with your own names on it. Now, the only way, one of the only ways that a company like this can be able to achieve this level of detail is the fact that they are able to decentralize every single aspect of the shoe. They have turned that physical part of the physical concept of the shoe into a virtual form. So they are kind of turned to a digital form so that they can be able to turn it into information that they can exchange. Hence, they don't need to stock every single thing about the shoe. What they will need to do is to have partners who can supply the different parts of the shoe so that they can be able to create the shoe as soon as it's ordered. Otherwise, how many laces are you going to buy? Which color are you going to buy? How will you know that this lady will like it and the other lady will like white? You can't be able to tell. And look at the number of permutations that you can do. Even per particular part you are changing, you can change it about 7 times. So if you are changing the lace alone, you are changing the sole alone, you are changing this, and you have about each part can be changed about 7 times, and you have 10 different parts. Moreover, you have a volume of consumers who are diverse, who can kind of arrange and customize the shoe in any way. You cannot predict what consumers will want. So if you are going to stop them like how our current businesses do, you fail. Hence, what can they do? They can only build systems that can be able to make sure that an online platform like this is linked with all the suppliers. So as soon as the shoe is created and ordered, everybody is notified. Bring this color of lace, bring this time, bring this time, bring this color of sole. Then they'll bring it together and assemble it and then produce the shoe. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You can't have the stock or else you run out of what. If you have a space, you can't have it. How many warehouses would you have to be able to stock all these things? And in a year, maybe the color pink would be bought twice. So companies are doing that, and it looks like it's not only them. Look at BMW, make their own car. Also allow you to go into it. So they give you the basic cars, then you get into it and add more specs to it. You know it yourself. Now you can ask for leather seats, you can ask for alloy rims, you can ask for different aspects of the car to be changed. Even the interior, you can ask for much more detail. Not in the basic, most of the cars, they give the basic edition. Then the deluxe edition, then there's a luxury edition. There are different levels that you can determine. And even the Corollas that you all drive, you also know that there's the LE, there's CE, and all of them have got different features. So to some extent, everybody is also thinking about that. Look at how it has gone that far. A company to you that builds your own rate, and they deliver within 3 days to you. They deliver to Asia, the US, and then the UK, and then North America, other parts of North America. So you can choose your ring, you can choose your diamond, choose your setting, and then complete your ring. Now, what are you trying to see here? You are trying to realize that by all these physical products, these companies are finding a way of making them virtual products. And by making them virtual products, you can sell more, you can customize it, you can sell with more variety. More than the other ones where you were just stocking them in just a shop. How many rings can you actually stock? You you can manage to talk maybe a few hundreds or 200s. It's not even advisable to have such a large stock there, because people may come there and still ask for customizations of their rent. But if you can be able to have the company claims that they have 60,000 different types of rates that you can create from their platform. And they even have, when you get started, you can actually choose the different cars you have, and you can also look at the price ranges that you would like to go to, and what you can set. If you can set that you want to spend only $5,000, and some of the rates go as much as up to $1 million. Huh? Yeah, surprise. Bring your own and let's change the price. You got your 100%. Now, you see, this is all about virtualization of products. Look at Ghana too. Somebody began this website called Funerals in Ghana. So funeralsingghana.com, where you're doing is that if your friends and your relatives abroad cannot attend your funeral, they'll come there, film the funeral, publicize it for you, they have the magazine and everything, then you'll capture it and put it online. So that your family members who are abroad can actually experience the funeral. Oh, this guy has been doing a lot of business for some time now. I think the current is a little excited for the new year, so it's a little bit down. But he gave me, I'm pulling this from one of their own platforms. So you could actually even make a donation to your family. And this is very recent. And what they do is that they create a page for you, cover the whole funeral, the video and everything, and then they put it online for you. Because somebody in Britain will pay for this for his family, and as part of it, then you come and cover it. And do it's just like somehow you hire somebody to cover your wedding and do a DVD for you. This is somebody to do the funeral and do the DVD and everything for you. And after that, he's giving the experience for your friends and loved ones cannot come. Now, a very physical, emotional product has been taken to a digital format, so that more people can access it. Can you just imagine how far we can go with that? Now, look at this one. This is by Harvard. This is iBroker. And iBroker is a platform that they allow you to be able to trade shares and do shares online. So that instead of going to a stock exchange, they are in that platform online, you can download their software. And if you are assigned, if you are registered with them, you can straight forward go and have a live overview of Ghana Stock Exchange and do your own trading. Your physical presence now is not needed there. You can be at your comfort of your home and do your own trading. A form of what? Virtualization of the same kind of physical things that we are doing. They are turning it into a virtual form for us to be able to experience it. Now I can keep on going and showing you how far businesses are going with all these opportunities. Now, if I think you have heard about Amazon before, Amazon.com. Yeah, they sell books, they sell clothes, and they sell shoes and everything. Now look at Amazon's idea. There's no physical shop. Everything is online. So you go online and buy. But Amazon is not, there's not, unlike, like looking at their shoe division, unlike Nike ID, where you can build your own shoe. Amazon just gives you what is in stock in terms of variety. So maybe color. So this particular shoe, we have got the natural color, and then we have got the black color. So I can think of the black color, I'm not sure. But they go a little bit beyond. They actually allow you to be able to zoom into the shoe and see a realistic version of the shoe you're trying to buy. Look at how you are zooming, look at the detail. Now this is actual, it's not just a picture of it. You are actually seeing the thread, the level of detail on that particular thread on the shoe. Which most of the time, some pictures of what you want to buy, you don't see. Today, people are buying cars online, and like some of your friends send a picture of the car, they show you the boot, they show you the back, they show you the front, they show you the inside before you watch it. Sometimes people don't even want to see the engine, so they take pictures of the engine. The story is all about people who build houses that way, and then they take pictures of a different house, send the pictures to you. Then when you get together, you see that your house is not finished. That's the only, so if there's no trust there, there's an issue there. But what I'm trying to point out is, now you are seeing all these businesses are finding different ways of getting the product which is physical and making it digital. And not just digital, they're also making it interactive and much more build a relationship between you and the product. So if you go online and you are building your own car, it's kind of your own property now, even before you own it. You have a full kind of affinity with the product. The degree at which a firm can make its product more virtual to convince someone who is sitting behind a computer would lead the firm to be able to close a deal. I can be able to convince you to buy my product if only I can give you an experience of the product. And that experience, if it's online, has to be very, very realistic. Because some of you, even if somebody is telling you that I'm selling shoes, bring it, let me bring it to my office, let me wear it, let me feel it. Somebody wants you to try it for 1 day before you buy it. So we believe in what touch and feel. Now, in this age, technology is letting that touch and feel go away, but still giving us a realistic view of what we want to buy and experience. And that is how businesses are going into. Because if I'm able to give you that realistic perspective, I can reach more consumers more than just putting a shop, one at maybe Makala Market or even at Medina Market. Unless you come there, you don't know what I'm selling. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So to some extent, we are digitalizing our products. We are turning to a digital format. And most of you are doing it already. You are selling products just by mobile phone. You have convinced somebody to come and buy something from you. It used to be that every Saturday you have to go to all the way to Laudon market and buy your things. Today, some of your trusted market women, when the products come, they call you, the tomato has come. The good one from this market has come. Tamale has come or from whichever it is. Should I reserve yours and bring it to the office? So you actually close a deal or virtually buy the product before you even what? See it. Because there are other things that are facilitating. One is the mobile phone. Two is trust with the repeated purchase. The person knows you and he knows knows much about you. That is why when you go to certain websites, you think that you recently viewed this. They are trying to tell you they know you. When you came to the website, last time you came, you were looking at this. Or you buy something and say that because you bought this, you would like to buy this. For example, Amazon, after you have bought something, they will tell you that those who bought this also bought that. What are they telling you? Customers who view that this also view this. So they are telling you that there are other things that you can also look at, which are related to the product. It's just the same way that somebody put baby food by the side of counters, so that if you are buying, so far as in that category, if you are buying this, it's more likely that you also need that. Now, the same experience is being carried online. And the reason is that companies are in a state of thinking about the fact that how do we sell our products, how do we market more, and how do we leverage technology to make sure that we are getting value from our consumers. So I asked a question that information systems and technologies are changing the way we do business. It's actually reducing our access and it's increasing our reach and increasing our richness. What I mean by increasing our riches? R-E-A-C-H. If you are a consumer and you sell, let's say, textbooks, and you put it online, you can meet more people than just a small textbook shop on paper campus. So I'm increasing my reach. And I'm also increasing the richness. You can, at the same time, search all the textbooks on my website. You can go and even read chapter 1 and chapter 2 to see whether it is good for you. You can even read maybe reviews on what people have left. Somebody buy a textbook, that book was not good. In a US, there's a website called ratemyprofessor.com, where people go around rating professors who have taught them. In fact, I think some of your professors who came from the US, if you Google their names, you see their names there. Ratemyprofessor.com. When you have time, go there. So you can go there and they rank the lecturer. Before you go to the lecturer, they have to tell you whether the lecturer is good. Some of the comments, the things he does, the kind of assignments he gives. So I think Professor Dr. Ajimi Mensah is there, so you can check his So now what is happening? By doing all these things, they are trying to give you what? An experience of the lecture before you go and visit it. So it's increasing richness. We are having an opportunity to have more richer information, richness, R-I-C-H. So some websites, if you are buying a product, they show a video of it, they show their picture, they even let somebody come and talk to you about it. So the richer information is being given to you. So technology is also helping us, is giving us new opportunities. On the other side, also giving us challenges like cybercrime, challenges like the information being stolen, challenges like you might want the product but you don't have a credit card, so you can't buy. Challenges like it's only a few are being left behind, some are being left behind, some are going ahead. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So there are different experiences that are coming up. So then I ask myself and you, should everybody go online? Ask yourself, should everybody go onto the internet? Considering a place like Ghana, now this was a question that I gave in Laudon last semester. So you can go and take the answers. Or do you have already feel? Considering the context of a developing country like Ghana, is the internet a strategic choice for every firm? Should everybody go online? What do you think?
That would be ideal.
No, I want to. We have started seeing the Amazon, we have seen everything. Should everybody go online? You have to look at the watches center like this. Should she go online? Yes. She go online. Okay. Should she go online? How many think that the watches seller should go online? 1, 2, 3. All about 5. How many of you think that it's not necessary for her to go online? You are not very online. There's no video. You should not go online. Why? So you should let the customer online. Are you sure? You know Auntie. She's on Facebook. And she's directing traffic and people are coming to eat more at her place. They are telling her that she shouldn't be online. Can you see this? So they do watch a party every Saturday, tell you where it's taking place, and people go there. Now whether it's created by her or it's created by her fans, it's actually promoting the film. So you go to your community and go and promote that small one by selling white tomatoes or this thing. And if police those sellers, some of them are not going to go there, the guy type ones and all those things. Say you go there, it will affect your credibility. You don't want people to know that you're eating it together. Some people park their cars somewhere, they walk down, and they change their dressing so that those see them from the bank, but they won't eat the same food that they're having. So I'm asking you, those who said that she shouldn't go online, what is she doing there? The kind of what is selling you there, other kind of what. So by now there's nobody sells it. Everybody has tax. If you go to the Ghana, there's a particular name that they use in watch kind of leaves. And it's like cocoyam. You actually boil it and eat it. So it's actually served in the hotels with the leaves. Yes. It's part of the nutritional value of it. You don't eat it, but there is, when they are cooking, they say that the nutrient transfer from the leaf to the, and it soaks it up. It's like how you use and all those things that you cook. So there's something special about the leaves that can go on. However, I'm trying to point to you that she's actually online and she's marketing herself. And people do watching parties in her place. They organize people that this week they are going, they will be here, and Timothy will be supplying the watches, so come around. Offices do that, other places do that. So the challenge is, you may think that no business needs to be online, but it's more about how do you create strategic value. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. sometimes I would say that the internet may be very good, but may not be necessary for you now. Between the internet and maybe the radio, I would advise that maybe start with the radio, maybe go to PCFM. One advert could actually, 3 adverts could change you and bring you. You know what? They are very adverts.
Ice back water.
It will change like how the display is selling or affecting Nestle's competitive position. But they can do it very well because they would redirect traffic and people to you. Then later on, you can go online for other reasons. So please, it's not that the internet or technology solves everything. You always need to understand to what strategic function are you bringing it to align with. And is it necessary at that point in time of the life cycle of the firm or the development or the product life cycle itself? Maybe if you are a particular product. For some products, it may be good that you start with radio, make a lot of noise, and then later on you go to the internet. For some products, it may be good that you start straight from the internet. For example, those who are now selling cars to, from Germany to their friends, now they are using the emails a lot. They email you the pictures. If you like it, they will get it to their friend, and whoever is their port manager, the guy will take it out, you can do the transfer, and that is it. I know businesses that are actually running like that. A lot of people are working in banks, they have got friends and who bring cars for them to sell in Ghana. So there's all the nature of the business should dictate to you, and the type of clientele or your potential customers should also tell you. Now, if you are, let's say, like Aquamas, and all your customers are just around you, the internet may not necessarily be important for that internet. Saturate your customers first. Then later on, maybe move on to the internet when you want maybe some funding from what an NGO. So when they see the thing you are doing in what the development region, they may give you more money. But you need to understand why you are going to the internet before you jump onto it. And that is one of the things that you are going to look at it. So we have established a number of things. Two, we are seeing, first of all, we are seeing the flexibility that some of the internet platforms are giving, and giving some of the firms different types of businesses. To some extent, we are also seeing that some of the firms are also using technology to change the way they run their marketing departments. Like you see what Nike ID is doing, like what Amazon is doing. Most of them are virtually just run by the internet. Without the internet, the firm cannot even exist as a firm. Amazon's whole business model is the internet. They don't have shopping malls or depots for you to just go there and buy. Even if you have a problem or a product, you need to send it back and then they will do a replacement for you. So everything is built on the systems and platforms that are very digitally enabled or technology enabled. Number one, firms are increasingly becoming digital their products, their services. In Ethiopia, somebody came up with a website called ethiogift.com. And what did he want to do? He realized that whenever it was getting to most of these celebrations like Eid al-Fitr and all those other Islamic holidays, they sell a lot of cows and goods and other animals, other livestock to do the celebrations. However, sometimes there are relatives who live abroad and they want to buy a sheep or a goat or a cow for the mother. So how can you get that one for the mother? And these were expensive. So what they did is that they take pictures of their sheep and their goats and they put it on the internet. And then you go online, you sitting in the diaspora, you wake up in the morning, put in your credit card, you put in where and pay for it. And then in where the delivery is, you put the directions to your mother's home. And then put the phone number of somebody who they can contact when they get to the area. And they will deliver a good condition. So the chances are the product is in where? Ethiopia. The website is hosted in the US. The transaction and the business and the financial transaction taking place in Canada. Who do they pay taxes to? Because the guy in Ethiopia, he just carrying the goat and going to give to you. What does he have? He just go to okay, carry the goat and go and give to you. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. The money is not in the country. But value is being created, and the value chain is still going on, and everybody is getting happy. But what I'm just trying to point to you is that there's a different opportunities that is opening up. Now, if the ship you brought to your mom, your grandmother doesn't like it, how will your grandmother compare the ship with the one on the online that this is the one you bought? Unless your grandmother has email and you know the picture. Oh yes, one of these new phones that this Blackberries and other phones that can carry the camera phones, carry the picture and you can see them. So you said that you text the picture or email the picture to your grandmother, it says the ears brown. But this is really what is happening. I want to challenge you to think about how business are run in today's world. And most of the digitalization is being powered by information systems. So it brings us to consider what is an information system? What is an information system? An information system, from the technical perspective, is an arrangement of people, data processes, and information technology that interact with the process and provide us information to support an organization. Now, I tell people in the simplest form, information system is IT plus people plus processes and maybe policy is equal to information system. When you have technology, when I say technology in this case, I mean like you have a computer, you have a mobile phone. The technology itself is not the system, it's not an information system. Because the system means that there has to be what other components in it to interrelate with or interact with so that a system can be complete. And a system means that it should process that something is going through. So an information system then becomes what? IT plus people who are the people who make the policies and then take the processes. So IT is equal to IS is equal to IT plus people plus processes, and sometimes others add policy. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So from the technical perspective, we can say that when we use technology, people, processes, and policies to collect, process, and store and provide us output information, we get information systems. Then from a business perspective, an information system can be seen as a system that provides a solution to a problem, a challenge or an opportunity for an organization, which does it by combining technology, the organization, and then management. Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? Organization, technology, and management. Technology, you have the hardware, you have the software, you have different technology companies. So when you read your notes and you see it there, that you have seen the hardware, like the computer that you see there. Then you have also know the software, like Microsoft Word, which is used in our offices. Then you have the communication platform, like the telephone lines, the networks, so that you can have your internet. All those things form the technology. However, those things have to be used to create value. But how do they create the value? They have to interact with the organization. The organization is where you have the structure, people and the organization. You have structure, you've got policies, you've got processes, you've got all that makes an organization in that. The management are the people who actually dictate the policies and the processes for the organization to do what it is. So a manager has the role of dictating that we want to go this way, we want to achieve maybe X number of X percentage of value in our company. And then he will set up an organization, bring processes together, bring policies together, buy the right technology, and then combine them. So an information system is just not about computers. It has to be the combination of both the technology, the management, and then the organization itself. When you combine these three components in the business perspective, you actually have an information system because organizations have to come, organization itself is set up by the management to achieve value. Now the value can be profit value or non-profit value, but it's a form of value that's being created. Then technology is brought in to enable the value creation or maximize what? The value creation. Or reduce our expenses in creating the value, hence maximizing the value. So the management cannot achieve the objective of the organization without having, to some extent, some level of technology investment. And technology is very wide. You know, today in many offices, you go there, you use swipe, some offices swipe your card before you enter. So that you can be able to monitor what employee performance and employee value in terms of the time that he commits to the firm. In the UK, there used to be a guy who had a very smart way, Jamaican guy who was working with a smart way of beating the system. He never swipes. He swipes only once when it comes to work. Then when it comes, he can go downstairs and go and take a smoke. But all at once, at the end of the day, this guy is not never as it takes, but he has swiped once, so he always thinks that he doesn't even go for lunch. What he has been doing is that he goes at the door. When somebody swipes going, they also step in. He stepped in. So after some time, they couldn't realize that this guy does not sit on his desk. You never see when he's dead. But he's not showing that he has gone out or has permission that he has gone out. He's 24 hours in the firm, always there. He started watching the tapes. Then he realized that, oh, the guy has beaten the system. He stands there, so it's like, hey, hi Kay, how are you doing? Fine. Going for? Then he just stepped out. So by the time he comes, another person is coming, then you stand by the door and say, hi. I saw this computer, should I leave it for years? So he became smart by standing by the door, always pretending to be doing something. So if you are coming, he comes in. If you go out. His number of hours on his desk for him to be paid is still intact. So you can still set up the technology and people still always find a way to outsmart the technology or to modify their behavior to suit them. So that's how it is. So technology is more about, it's not just about computers, more than that. So we have established one thing. Information system is a set of related components. They collect, process, store, and distribute information to support decision making, coordination, and control. Now, what is interesting is that in producing information, we come across a number of technologies. One of them is information, another one is data. Now, sometimes people are confused about what's the difference between information and data. Now, what is the difference between information and data? It's actually said data is a stream of raw facts. When you process data, you get information. So some people say information is data in information. Separate the I as information. So when you put data into a process, you get information. So data in information is what? Information. So what is knowledge? Yeah, lost. Knowledge is when you apply information and giving context for a specific action. For a given context. That is why sometimes something relies in your mind as information. Then you are in a meeting and something, and you start, everything comes together. But at that point in time, for that particular action or decision, everything, the information becomes related to that particular decision or the discussion that is going on. So you say you have an epiphany, but actually knowledge is created in your mind. That is why you can have a lot of the information in your head and you can go to the exam for the question is there and still you get right. Yes. Because knowledge has not been created. It's just information that is in the head. But the question is there. You see that the same question has just been turned around. For example, the lecturer said that I will ask you what is information system. And you go and you don't see what is information system. Then you go and see a system that supplies information. What is it? Then you ask yourself, he said, what is information system for crowd? I learned the definition. Now he's asking me a system that supplies information. Then he said, no, it is the stock exchange. It's the system that supplies information. So, typically, when you go to airport shell and you are buying at airport shop. At that point in time you are buying, you know that they collect the very basic details, the price of the product, and how much you are giving to them. And then they process it, and then they give you what? The receipt. Now when you look at the receipt, what do you see? The data that they collected is what is inputted on you. When you read it, you can then know your balance and know the price. So you generate some type of information into your head. But at that point of time the person is collecting, the person who is at the till is collecting data. When he processes and brings it to you, the receipt is now information. So when you get to the gate and somebody is asking you that, did you buy it? Yes, where is your evidence? Now that same data that has been transferred onto a piece of paper is now what information. The information become an evidence for you and you can walk out. So at that point in time, you can say that if the data has been processed and now is being applied to become an information there. Because what the guy is looking for, do you have the right to go out with this particular product? Yes, I have the right. This is my receipt. This is my information. This is my something, a summary data to show that I have the right. So you understand the difference, you appreciate the differences. So you can have information data. One thing that you need to understand about those two is, at that point, same point in time, the receipts. If I collect all the receipts there, that receipt, if I am the MD of that particular shop, I don't need to know who bought what at what time, what was his name, or what receipt was produced at this time. Actually need to know how much can people have been sold today, how much profits have been sold, or how much water have been sold, so that I can bring in new stock. So if you come and bring me receipts, you are not bought information, you are bought data. I will need a summary report of what stock levels. I don't need the receipts. But the person who is leaving the shop needs the receipt. So the receipt is information for the person who is leaving the shop. But that same receipt is data for who? The owner of the shop. So the interpretation of what data is and what information is also dependent on the person and the context that we are using it for. The same way the class list that you have here. For me, today's class list and attendance, I may use it and I see it as information. But if I take it to a vice chancellor, it is data. It doesn't mean anything. However, if I'm able to bring out a report of how many students passed my course, compared to the last 2 years on, that will be information that the vice chancellor will need, so that he can be able to say that his university is doing better than other universities. Is that true? Good. So sometimes there is a thin line between what data is at one point in time and another time what it is as information. There's a very thin line between, because at that same point in time, I will took the receipt out of the office. At the end of the month, if I want to do my own, if I'm that project and I want to check how much I spent, that receipt I took there become data for me, because now I'm looking at all my expenses from the month. But that time I was leaving the shop, it was what? Information. So we appreciate that information data is raw facts. Information has been shaped into a meaningful form. But the who interprets what is meaningful depends on who the person in context and what the person is using it for. Do you appreciate that? Yes.
So in that case,
yeah,
it would be good to modify that information definition to end user. So
to the end user.
To the end user. So it's very important.
I like this guy. He likes so information is it's called that for the end user. It's appreciated, but that's how I explain it. But this is actually coming from how it is organized. So what you're saying is really, that means that you actually understand it. So if you're confused, this is the man. Is it your bro? That's it. Is it your bro?
It's a tea.
It's a tea. It's a TA who is really a TA. Anyway. So data is well for information. This is the same thing that you're trying to show here. Here is a list of items and their prices. This is a receipt that's coming. So in a nutshell, an information system has a number of processes. Some people say there are 3 key processes. processes: input, process, and output. I say there are four. I think feedback is also an important one. But you see that a number of people will emphasize on the three: input, process, and output. So if you should ever see that somebody asks you to draw the activities in the information system, this one is actually telling you to draw. If you just draw input, process, output, and you leave feedback, you may be mad because feedback plays a very key role in the information system. If you don't get the feedback, you don't know whether the information that has come out is information yet. That is why some of you, when you get your receipt and you check, you say, oh, there's a mistake on it. This is not how much I paid for. So there are three activities: input. Input is when we capture the data from the external environment. Processes is when we change the raw data to something else. Then output, we transfer the information to the people who, the other activities who need to use it. The feedback is when the output is returned. Output returned to appropriate members of the organization, not evaluate or correct input stage. Like I said, if the person brings a receipt that is wrong, you can go back to the input again and tell them to do something about it. So that is basically the components of an information system. The key activities, the key activities of an information system. One being, the components are the technology, the organization, and management. And the key activities is when we have it as input, process, output, and then feedback. So, like I said initially, the computer system, the computer sitting down is not a system for this only. It's just a technology which belongs to the system, or the tool that supplies information. But the system needs some processes, needs some people in the processes. But beyond the core part of the system, we also have to understand an information system exists in the context. Like I said, if ID wakes up one morning and wants to bring the same thing that he's doing there to Ghana, what problem do you think they will have? Access to what? No, I'm saying that like they start selling the shoes online, just like they're doing there, and they start doing it in Ghana. What problem do you think they will have?
Their clientele, they will not get much clientele because the Ghanaian population, the internet usage is very low. So
the internet users are low. Okay, what if they target the internet users are low? What challenges will they have? Credit card system, payment system will be a challenge. Then what again? Address issues. Then what again? Traffic. They cannot always do this, yes. Because the STC will break down and tell you that it's not their fault. Anyway, it's now you talk about system. So you need to understand that the information system, even though it's an organization, the organization exists in the context. And it has to interrelate with the suppliers, the consumers, competitors, stockholders, and regulatory agencies. Some of these things influence how the nature of the business that takes place with the information system we have. Let me give you a very simple scenario. It is actually argued that the value we generate from the technology is correspond to the readiness of your customers and your trading partners to also have or use that same technology. Why am I saying that? If I have a mobile phone and I want to, like this Nokia here, I've got a mobile phone. The first thing you do is that you tell your friends you have a mobile phone. How do you tell them? You have to call your friends. Now, if you are calling your friends don't have a mobile phone, what do? You call landline. The landline is going to the office. Somebody will pick the phone and say, welcome to MTN. Can we help you? You say you want to speak to Akusha, baby. Which one Akusha use? Then you start going to now by the time the person comes, the person is still you run out of the joy and everything. So the personalization and the degree at which you get value from it also depends on the readiness of your network. Have your network of friends or relationship, what the technology to use. If you don't have it, can you be able to connect with them with the phone? then you cannot be able to connect with your girl with the phone, then you are lost out. Do you appreciate what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So even your marketing man who needs to be able to connect with you or talk to you needs to know that you have a mobile phone or you also cannot be able to get in contact with you. The same way, sometimes people are constrained by the level at which their network or their environment or people that they relate with have got the technology that they want to access to. How do you send emails to friends who don't have emails? How do you befriend friends who are already not email on Facebook? So before you can be able to get joy from or value from technology, the exponential value is also very dependent on how many people are connected to that technology. That is very, very important. Or else you lose out. And it happens a lot. People think, oh, I'm going to get this thing, I'm going to buy this phone, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. You get it and you realize that you are the only person who has it and nobody really has it. And you even become the envy of some friends. So now that's another challenge that you have to be able to deal with. So you first of all need to think about it that then sometimes too, the value is also dependent on the readiness of the environment, not only just the network of relationship, the environment. What do I mean by that? I have a mobile phone, I have coverage area in Accra. I moved to maybe some small cottage in Sugar and there's only a single bar. And you have to stand on your bed and check your legs somewhere. You know that sometimes you have that problem. You have to stand in a particular part of the room so that you can get 2 bars. And you need to call somebody to come and pick you up, and you are in trouble like that. So the coverage area also becomes, so if the environment is not ready for it, you might not be able to help you. And that's the same thing that you mentioned in terms of the readiness of the payment system, the readiness of infrastructure, the readiness of even a sizable or a critical mass of what internet users to adopt the buying platform or to be able to buy online. If that doesn't exist, we come back to the same problem. So we have that challenge to also address the environment. So the environment plays a role. Your network of suppliers and customers also play a role. And then sometimes too, you have the technology but you cannot be able to do it. And I was doing some work for UNESCO and we're managing a number of projects around Africa. One of the projects that we do is that we actually give money to set up community radio stations. So somebody came with a proposal from Bimbila to set up a community radio station. We approved that proposal, it would cost about something about $30,000 to do it. Now the guy said that he's going to use a radio station to encourage peace in that ethnic tribal conflict zone. But you see, before the money will be given to you, you have to get a license to operate the community radio station. This guy for the past 4 years has been going up and down, up and down, up and down, up to today. It's not dependent on the government. Nobody wants to give you, and nobody is telling him the truth. So we actually had to call UNDP to go and talk to somebody in the NCA to see. The key issue is that you want to bring a radio station into an ethnic tribal zone which has previous history of ethnic wars. Now this is a security environment for a zone. So before they will pass the license, they have to make sure that they are put in adequate measures to make sure that your radio station will not rather go the other way or this other way or the front. So because they cannot be able to do it, nobody is ready to pass and give you the license. But they will not tell you directly that this is the issue. So they go and come. Go and come. Oh, the minister is here. You talk to the minister, oh, we are waiting for NCA. You talk to NCA, we are waiting for BNI. You talk to BNI, we are waiting for the guy is going around and the money is lying down. It's lying down here. But just that, you cannot get the regulatory agencies to pass. And I could understand. Nobody would do it. You should know that this is a no-go area. So I even told him that, why don't you go a little bit beyond the town? Go to maybe another town. Because we have actually approved one the one in Bulisa, Radio Bulisa, just got their money and they have built, set up their station and they have started going on their even doing training programs for that, which is a little bit quite far and it's quite different area. So if it's a business you want to do, to even serve the community, and some of the radio stations, the bandwidth can still, the frequency and the bandwidth can be able to go that fast so that you can be, those guests will still get the information. So don't set it up in the community, set it up elsewhere, and make sure that you broadcast in a manner in which you can be able to reach that environment. Is that not the same story? Yes, it's still, you know, it's stuff. I don't understand what I'm trying to say. So then I started asking the questions and you gave me the guy, I realized that there may be other reasons why these people don't want to really give him the. But this is the truth. So sometimes you can have the money, you can have the technology and everything, then regulatory agencies can actually block your ability for you to get the value that you want or even set it up. So, as I mentioned earlier, information systems is really more than just computers. Now we understand and appreciate it very well. And I said that from a business perspective, the information system is an instrument for creating value. And it helps to create value in many different ways. It helps to encourage productivity, increase revenue. When you increase your reach, you are reaching more consumers. That means that you can also increase your revenue. Then also build long-term strategic positioning or relationship. The frequency at which you keep on talking to your market woman or your particular taxi driver all the time is building a relationship with the person. Because for the mobile phone, you are building a relationship with the person. After some time, what happens? Anytime your car is, even though your car is broken down and you call this taxi driver, even if you don't have money, he will pick you up. He knows that you are good for the money. Why does he know that? Because you have built a relationship over time. And how does the relationship look? Not just by picking his car, he can call you at Christmas and wish you happy New Year and all those kinds. So you have built a relationship that extends beyond the business itself. And that is what some of the technologies enable us to do. So in business, when you start having a strategic relationship with a person, and you start having what we call customer loyalty and then consumer lock-in, you lock into the product or the company. So anything the company brings, whether it is good or not, the guy wants to buy. Like you hear about the Apple devices, the iPhones and all those things. Actually, I've said it there. So you know, go to some chemist office, they have it, but they don't know what they are using it for. So you say, go there, they walk and they put it in front of you. You know that they are also young. Then you look at it and ask yourself a number of questions like, this guy, and I come to examine the phone you have, or you want to show that you are better than me, or then when a call comes, you see, he doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't even know how to put the call. Then it is this thing, or then he starts complaining, all these things. My son is the one who has been teaching me. It is true. Some people are not for that the 8-year-old boy is the one teaching you how to use the phone. So it happens that you build a very strong strategic position through the consistent use of technology to relate to consumers. Now, we began by discussing the fact that information systems is empowering firms to become digital. So, I also mentioned that then we have the digital firm. But what is the digital firm itself? A digital firm, as you have seen from Nike, as you have seen from BMW, as you have seen from Carbank, and you have seen from all the other the watcher seller is the effect that uses information systems become network and decentralized and digitalize their business processes in order to foster creativity and innovation. Now what I want to emphasize here is the decentralization, so that everything is not tied to just that particular one unit of the firm. The product itself now becomes virtual, it's shared by a lot and can be accessed by many people. The watcher seller is doing an advert on radio. You know, sometimes a radio advert can be done and you just want to just go and buy the product. And the thing is that you are not even seeing it. But actually when you go to Kojo or it's just a piece of paper he's looking at in this video. But because the small Payola has come, he can see it very well with all the questions and everything, and he asks all the gymnastics to it. By the time you realize, people are calling in. So customers are being drawn into products that have been communicated in a way that it builds a relationship. Like currently, you see the Interplus actors, consistency. And now you know about the Azonto phenomenon, to everything we want to say Azonto. Because they think about there's even Ace Advert, which uses Azonto. Why is it happening that way? It's happening that way because people are realizing that if you can create a relationship between the product and the consumer will buy into the product and doesn't even know why it's liking it. And that's the same way that these firms are trying to do. By the use of information systems, they are turning the product into a digital format in a manner in which is very realistic and very convincing to the consumer out there. Some of you, as soon as your friends are traveling, then you go to Debenham's website or all those other websites. When you go, see this shirt, make sure you buy me one. You actually come to the internet and tell the person to buy it for you. When you come to Ghana, you pay for it. Why are you doing that? Because the visual product has convinced you that it's good, you will like it, and you look good with it. So you like the person to buy it for you. Some people even go to instead of buying very expensive things online, clothes, suits, and everything online without even having a try on it. Somehow they believe that to be a very good product. And you buy it and you get it. So that's what these firms are doing. Now, what these firms are showing us is these 6 strategic business objectives. 1, operational excellence. 2, new products and services. 3, customer and supplier intimacy. 4, improved decision making. 5, competitive advantage, and then the ability for them to survive. I'll go through them. So, operational excellence. This is the use of information systems to improve efficiency and attain higher profitability. Now, technology is used to encourage efficiency and productivity. Example is a Nike ID website, the BMW USA website, linking with suppliers so that seamlessly, when you order the product, the supplier is notified. The same way, Friday afternoon, you are there, your market woman brings you the tomatoes to your office. You don't need to go to an ocean market on Saturday. What is he doing? He's making her operations become better. Now she brings the product to the consumer who knows that the consumer will buy. But that is now coming to negotiate on it again. Even if it's going to be a negotiation, by all means, you consider the person that because I come that far, you buy something. So operational excellence is achieved. And by that, both of you are maximizing your use of your time and the value you are gaining from that relationship. And when consumers think that they are gaining better value from the relationship they have with you, they come back to you. If I buy a laptop like ROG laptop or any other laptop, and it's always breaking down, and I'm spending more time coming to you to come and get it repaired, after some time I lose confidence in buying a product like that from you. Why? Because you are not valuing my time and my effort. It's not just about the price nowadays. Most of you are willing to pay a little extra more for convenience and quality. Even choosing a seat in a plane or choosing which airline you want to fly with, you want to make sure you arrive well. So you don't want what they're getting and they are shaking there. So that quality is very, very important. Even taxis, some taxis are coming to tinted glasses, yes. So you can check yourself at the behind, and then you relax and sit there. You are just going from here to Lagos. But still, you don't want anybody to see you. Why? Because some of you don't want to spend hours in the sun. There's no air conditioning actually already. So you are hours in the sun, and there's no tinted glass, and you are sweating. By the time you go for the interview, you are wet, you are nervous, and you lose. So, because of all these reasons, everybody is asking for better and excellence in operations. Beyond that, new products and services, like what Nike is doing, And like what, the ability for you to create the product online also gives you opportunity or virtualize the product, create a different service you are giving to your consumers. For example, Auntie Muni's place, and for many, I don't know about her, but many of them who have actually created websites, online Facebook pages, they are using it to actually provide services. Like Fidelity Bank provides services to consumers, some of its clients, on their Facebook page. Like Click Espresso has a Facebook group. So if you want to charge your buy data, after you have charged your phone, you can go to a Facebook group and then chat with the people who are online. Tell them that okay, you have this your phone number. They should convert it into a bundle for you, and they do it. Funny enough, with Espresso's phone, Espresso doesn't have a website in the Ghana branch or the Ghana subsidiary. It doesn't have a website, but they have a Facebook group. So you can just imagine that they are now using Facebook more to interact with the consumers. And many people are doing that. There are new ways of offering services just because of these platforms. Then you can also have better customer intimacy and better relationship with suppliers. Same way I mentioned that. Improve decision making. I mentioned iBooker.com where I was talking about cowback. Now what I mean by improved decision making is the fact that information comes to you readily, so you can better get informed. Now, if you can check market prices of products at a point in time, then you can always decide on every product you are buying. For example, if somebody brings you a shoe and is selling the shoe to you here, and you have a shoe seller at maybe Cantamount, if you can call that shoe seller and say that, okay, how much is maybe this shoe going in Cantamount or this product going in Cantamount? The person tells you the price, so then you can react. The person is due to 50 Ghana, it tells you that it's 45. You know that then the person has added 5 Ghana to it. So you can maybe decide readily at that point in time whether you want to buy or not. And that is how technology gives us very detailed, sometimes very detailed information to be able to make very good decisions. And in some of the offices, it's the readiness of this information that gives them the advantage. Many of the telecom companies compete based on information. You hear that, oh, this guy is doing 222. He also going to do 111. You know what I mean by 22211, like the 888 you hear. As soon as you hear that there is going to be a new promotion from MTN, then you also try to do a counter one in what? Airtel. Otherwise, you'll come and mop out everybody and then take them to your. There used to be the fact that at the airport, when you get there, only a few companies were selling, and a few of them were selling their Airtel. Now, the guy is there, he has everybody's phone, from Espresso to whoever it is, whichever you want. And when you get to Nigeria too, it's funny now when you are leaving Nigeria, you can actually buy the Ghanaian SIM cards before you get to Ghana. The guys have CDs, they have airtime, they have phones and everything ready for you to come to Ghana. Because they know that a lot of Ghanaians have been passing through in and out. So whether you want Naira or you want CDs, you can be able to give it to you. The same way, if you are being information is given to you readily, you can make better decisions. And that is one thing that information systems is able to generate for us. So operational excellence, new products and services, customer intimacy, improved decision making. These things contribute to enabling the company to survive. Contribute to enabling the company to survive. I'll start here for you to have a break. You know, 10 minutes. It's only 15 minutes. I was telling them that it's too short for a break. Before the student goes up and down, the time is up.
If you ask a parent, they might call it intuitive. If you ask a musician, they might call it inspiring. To a doctor, it's groundbreaking. To a CEO, it's powerful. To a teacher, it's the future. If you ask a child, she might call it magic. And if you asked us, we'd say it's just getting started.